Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to pop online today and share some information about your upcoming project. I thought it might be helpful if I show a sample and provide a little bit of contextual detail as you work away at completing those. So the project is due if you are on Brightspace. You'll notice our calendar is there with all of our upcoming due dates. The project's due March 1st. And I have also encouraged students to work in teams of two if they want to work on the project collaboratively. You're more than welcome to do that with a partner and submit one assignment between two of you. Just please ensure I know who worked on the assignment. So on the cover page, the title page, it'll include both names. And also you're free and welcome to do it on your own individually. So that's up to you in terms of choice. So what I thought I'd do today is talk for a few minutes about the project details and a little bit about where we are in the chapter material, chapter content. So let's talk about the project itself. There's multiple parts to this assignment, so I want to go through it and then show you a sample of what yours could look like from a prior student who gave me permission to share their work. So the assignment overall is to help you really learn about the interview process and the selection process for choosing candidates. I think you'll find that going through it in detail this way will really inform your understanding of how interviews are done and the considerations that go into structuring an interview, coming up with questions, the nature of those questions, and the tools needed to make sure you have a fair, equitable hiring practice so that our practices are always in line with legislation and legally defensible. So you'll rely heavily on Chapter 7 for this one of your textbook, and it's got multiple parts. So Part 1, worth 15% of the assignment, is that you will design the interview based on an administrative assistant job. And I've provided the job description in your package. If you scroll down here, you'll see it's an administrative assistant role with the town of Pleasantville. So a fictitious role, but very much aligned with typical administrational duties. Let's get back up to the top here. So you're going to design the interview for hiring that position. And the important thing is that everything we do is around finding a candidate who is credentialed and has the required experience to do this job. So you will choose the identifying criteria for how you will select, making a list of what you would want as an employer versus what you also must have. So there's key differences between, the absolute need to have, and then the extra things that you'd like to have in a candidate, all pertaining to the skills required of the job. You'll choose the interview questions. Typically 10 to 12 questions is standard for an interview, and it's important that you use a variety of behavioral and situational questions that are open-ended and probe for job knowledge and skill set, and doesn't violate any personal questions or identifying characteristics or anything that isn't relevant to the job. So just to give you some context there, a behavioral question normally is a question about, tell us about a time when, in the past, when you demonstrated, when you gained experience, an example of work you've done from the past, how they handled a situation, a conflict, a customer service issue, something like that. And then a situational question is more future-oriented. How would you handle, what would you do in this situation or this scenario? So it gives you an opportunity for them to share prior experiences and also tell you what they would do in a new situation that perhaps they haven't encountered before. So good to have a variety of those. And by open-ended, we mean questions that will not lead to a yes-no answer. If it's only a yes-no answer, we're not going to get enough feel for the candidate. So keep questions quite open and allows a candidate to elaborate on their experience. So you'll go through your criteria, what you're looking for, wants, musts, all of the questions that you'll ask in the interview, and then you also have to come up with the answers to the questions. What's the optimum response you'd be looking for? So you don't actually have to give a full script, but some high-level key points of what would be a great answer that would gain full points. That way, as an interviewer on your panel or as a guest on your panel, I may not know what you're looking for. I may not know the perfect response myself to that job. Perhaps I've never been an administrative assistant, but I'm here as a manager interviewing. So tell me what you're looking for in a quick bulleted list of what would be an optimal response. And then you assign a weight to that. So some questions might be worth a lot, experience with being an administrative assistant, prior tasks, prior credentials to knowing all of the different Microsoft package. Those things might be worth more than another question. So you'll have to decide, is this question worth 10 points or 5 points, or is it a smaller question that's only worth 3 points? A question like, are you ready and able to work, and do you have any restrictions for when you can start, any hours restrictions that a candidate's going to tell you about? That might only be worth 3 compared to an experience question. So weight the questions, and then you're going to design the evaluation form, part 2, and that's worth 5%. And that's where you use Word or Publisher or some kind of technology that helps you create a really nice, well-formatted document where you can capture all the questions and all of the answers that the candidate provides, as well as all of the ranking for the points that they earn during the interview. So I'm going to show you all of these pieces, and that will help you structure yours. There should also be a little section that evaluates other attributes, like did they arrive on time? Were they professional in their appearance, if that's a requirement for you? Did they shake hands? Did they bring a portfolio? Anything at all that maybe is over and above the questions that you'd be looking for. So this is also how the rubric I will use. I'm going to look for your criteria of the things that you are looking for and isolating the wants and musts. There will be points assigned for the interview questions themselves and that they're good variety. The responses that you provide to show that I know you have given consideration to what an optimal answer looks like, and then your form overall. And always APA, especially for the cover page and the reference page. So here is a sample of another student's work. So they did their APA cover page, followed by, they provided an overview of the assignment, sort of like a table of contents overview. Not required, but it's nice when students go kind of above and beyond. Here is the selection criteria. So they have their lists of what they absolutely must have in a candidate, kind of the top required things, as well as the things that would be beneficial and nice to have. So they want a minimum of 3 years working experience. That's what you need to have this job. And they want some certificate, whether it's an office administration diploma or something. But they'd also like to have someone who demonstrates organizational skills and time management skills and good attention to detail. So you can create your list. Some students will have 6 things on the musts and only a few things on the wants. That's up to you, as long as you base it on things that came from the job description I provided. And they show that the things that are musts are weighted at a 4, and the things that are a want are weighted at a 3. This student came up with 9 questions, and if you look at these questions, there is a good mix. They're all open-ended. Tell us a bit about your computer skills. That's very much gaining access to their experience. Tell us about an experience where you might have received a request and how you handled it if the instructions were unclear. That's a behavioral question. How do you check for errors? That's a situational question that helps us gauge how they'll handle typos or edits in a document. So those are the questions, and again, you can come up with 10, 12 questions. More than that, it becomes too long of an interview. These are the optimal answers for each of those questions, with just key high-level notes as an interviewer, what I would use as a guide to help me assess the answers, and they are weighted. This student stuck with all 3s and 4s. That's a personal choice, how you want to weight them, what's the most valuable. And then the interview form. So this student used Word. You'll notice they have candidate name, who did the interview, the date the interview was done, the position, and then a very easy to follow rating scale to assess how well the questions were answered. Were they excellent, outstanding, kind of good, average, or unsatisfactory? You can have different ratings, but keep it very easy, user-friendly. They include each of the questions should be on the form, but not the optimal answer. Instead, room for the interviewer to capture the answer, and then a point system. This is a little more complicated than it needed to be, so I encourage you to, use your own discretion, but choose something quite easy to use. Go through the form, and as you get to the end, that's the section where other attributes should be noted. The student looked at professional attire, attentiveness, positive attitude, although that's hard to gauge, a handshake, that kind of thing. Keep these objective and able to be measured. Anything subjective can get into legally defensible questionable areas. And a signature area, followed by references. So that's just an idea. Yours can look different than that, better than that. However you want to set it up is up to you. If you do a quick Google search, you'll probably get a lot of ideas for excellent interview questions and different types of templates on how to format. Feel free to use those as long as you reference those on your reference page. And that, I hope, will give you a broad understanding of the level of detail and process that goes into creating a fair, equitable hiring practice for any organization. If you're going through the chapters, you'll see how much time is dedicated to hiring well. That is the key thing. Also doing reference checking, background checking, sometimes doing multiple interviews. This is a very formal structured interview, but then there's unstructured interviews that could be more conversational in nature. There's work simulations where people can come and do a sample work or work shadow, demonstrate their skills. That can all be part of it. You'll notice for a lot of organizations there's usually the pre-screening followed by 1, 2, 3 interviews. In government jobs there could be multiple interviews. Because if we invest really well in how we hire, we are less likely to have problems with our employees, and so we don't want to hire our own problems. If we front-end load that work and then do a really solid orientation when the employee starts, we are more likely to have retention and engagement, which is the goal of the HR department. So I hope that gives you a good overview of what I'm asking for. Reach out to me if you have any questions specifically. We can set up a Skype if you want to chat, or standard email works too. Have a great weekend, and I also wish you a quick 6 weeks because we're almost to the end zone. Take care and talk soon.